evening. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today I have on Aryn Jonathan Black from Scorpion Child. How are you, man?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you back. It's been a while. I was a young show, and now I'm just an old man with a
We were
camera.
just kids.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
was 12, and I think you were 11.
yeah,
Um,
we really
yeah,
grew up.
yep, just playing stickball out in the streets.
Yeah, wow, man, that was so much fun. Like we
That was
used to smash those wiffle balls, man.
that's wiffle balls. It's a long time since I thought of that.
That was
Um,
Harlem, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. It was out at the edge of Bronx. You actually are Texas based, so from what I know, the Texas scene is slamming. Is it still kicking?
Um, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I guess.
There's no wrong answer.
We, I don't really know what the answer to that is. So none of us in the band, like most of the guys are sober now, so we're really
Okay.
like boring by trade.
But you can still listen to music and just bands and you see bands and flyers and you're still
I do.
all
So
right.
I'm in the process of opening up a bar right now. So that's consumed so much of my time that I personally haven't been able to get. I actually went to a show, a metal show, like yeah, so I guess last weekend, not this past weekend, but last weekend. And that's the first time I'd been to a show since I got back from tour, which was late October when I went to see Tribulation and Opeth. So you'd think,
You'd
yes,
think,
there's a show every night.
yeah, it feels like I'm always seeing things in my feed from Texas and like festival type shows and gatherings. It seems like there's a strong,
Yeah,
um, especially compared to New England. We do have some things we have New England Metal Fest and stuff, but it doesn't feel like
yeah.
it's like every night and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, in Austin, it's every night. I wouldn't say that it's every night in Dallas and San Antonio like it is in Austin. Oddly,
Right.
they're so much bigger cities, more cosmopolitan though. But as far as like the music scene, there is something in Austin going on every night. I just haven't been able to participate in that like I used to. Like I used to work downtown and like I'd know everybody in the scene and I was out every day, every night, just hanging out, partying, going to shows and stuff like that. But like I don't as much anymore, but we're even more creative now than we ever were. It's just we're not out on the town with the other bands every night. And that's the thing, like in Austin, like all the bands are hanging out together, like we
Mm.
used to with the bands back in the day. Like we were part of that younger scene of bands that were hanging out. So they know of us, but we just, unless we're doing a show with those bands,
Yeah.
we don't, we don't
So
go
there's,
out
yeah.
every, yeah. So it's a little different perspective now. But then they'll see us go to Europe and do like 11 different countries, and they'll be like, where you guys even like you're here?
Well,
Where
and that's
uh,
interesting about you is because you guys, I mean, the history of the band, I mean, obviously this you're the sole member at this point, but
yeah,
it's gone through different versions. I mean, you've had two of the
yeah.
prior albums, which are good, and every album has a different, not different sound, but definitely different flavor,
Yeah,
you
that's the
know.
idea.
I think there is a core sound and your voice is a core sound and your songwriting is, but each album does sound a little different. And I mean, partially it could be your songwriting, partially it's where you're at in your life, band
Yeah.
members, gear. I mean, it could be a million things.
Hmm.
But as a fan and a fan of the band, it's fun. I like that in a band.
Yeah.
Not getting the same album. And you usually have a time window between albums. You don't just shoot them out right away. You have a lot of things going on in life and touring and stuff and other, you opening a bar and stuff.
Hmm.
So the impetus for this band, I mean, for this album though, it feels like this one feels even more there's more change in this in the songs and the sound of this album than the last two. Like it jumped ahead.
Hmm.
Am I right to assume that the songwriting feels like you really took a big change in it and
Yeah.
lyrically even?
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's definitely, there's a purpose behind that. So the sound that we're doing now is the sound that Asa and he's my original guitar player. He came back for this album. He wrote a lot of, he wrote on the first album.
Hmm.
Um, some of the songs were still his songs when Chris came in, and Chris wrote a bunch of songs too. But on the second album, he wasn't anywhere. And then on the third album, it's he comes
Okay.
back. We're actually doing a sound that we always wanted to do. Because when we met, we were listening to like Love by the Cult and Sisters of Mercy and The Cure and
It
Fields.
does feel like that time period. It feels like when I first started listening to like when Soundgarden first came out and early Jane's Addiction period. Not each of those groups in particular, but it feels like that was like the groove of the time. It feels like it's like very
Yeah,
fresh and exciting. Like I haven't heard that in a while. I'm like, oh, it's kind of fun because it's definitely got that. Like it's produced well, but there's has like a weird raw energy that I can't put a finger on because it's not in the production. I don't know
yeah,
if it's just
yeah.
music itself. I don't know.
It's definitely got a post-punk flair to it because we really like, that kind of stuff, Killing Joke and the sound and chameleons and stuff like that. But I mean, we also love 70s rock and,
Yeah. Wow,
eight.
the Chameleons. You're the first person I actually referenced them on the show, except for actually talking to, Mark.
Oh
So,
yeah, Mark, cool. Yeah, man. We've always loved the chameleons. But when we started out as a band, everybody was kind of like leaning more towards the rock and roll stuff. And
mhm.
we also loved the MC5 and Mountain and Sir Lord Baltimore and all that stuff. So we like decided to kind of like start the band more on that trajectory. But if you listen to it, there's always been that this psychedelic element to
Yeah, oh,
the,
yeah.
but now we took the psychedelia to a darker place, a little more of a like something you would hear in a post-punk kind of late 70s kind of early 80s sound. Yeah, so
What's it?
it's a merger of a lot of what we've done with what we've always wanted to do. So
This is more of the album.
now we're on the path, after 7 years of being dormant, we're like, okay, and we already have another record almost ready
Really?
to record. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, not wait so long between albums. And I mean, because
yeah.
when I discovered you, you guys 40 years, so you guys hadn't done anything for a couple of years, your last album, but I dug it and we came on, and I think you're still in the transition period, and
Mm,
obviously you've had a lot of things going on in the past years, the formation, everything. So to me, it
yeah.
was very exciting that, it was even you. I heard from you, you had a new album coming out. It was another someone on your team had reached out, and I'm like, yeah, I know him. So and then I heard it, I was absolutely blown away by this
Thanks.
album.
So you like it? Yeah, you like this one, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. It's definitely the best too, and I'm not just saying that because
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't have to have anybody in the show if I don't want them. So you're on because I was like, this is the best
Glad
album.
you
This is
enjoy
so
it.
good. It's a solid album, and I like it because every song is different, but it's a good, solid album. I hate skipping songs. I hate, what I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's time put into it. There's no stinkers. You didn't just fill it up with crap like and made it longer.
Yeah, no, I mean every single one of the 8 songs that are present on it are present. Yeah, it's we didn't want to do a 13 song album and 6 of those songs are just kind of
Right.
filler songs. Like that's not the way we do it.
But if you got the 13 good songs, I say put them on there too. But I'm
Yeah.
saying this album is just solid from track, all the way through. Every song is like, you listen to it solid. Um, you
Hmm.
had a single, so Be the Steak is a single, and then what was it? You had
Outliers was the first one.
Outliers was the first single. Yeah, I'm actually looking to see yeah. So you've had two singles. How are the people reacting to them live?
Well, it's interesting because we're not doing Nuclear Blast on this one. Our friend Damon's putting it out, and he was the one responsible for making Polygon of Eyes the iTunes song of the week, which really kind of
Yeah.
that song up when we first started out. So Nuclear Blast has gone through so many changes that we just decided to kind of like move away from that. So Damon is like it's real DIY. I mean, he's putting it out on his label and like he's just kind of starting out, with his record label and stuff. So he's pressing the vinyl and the CD. But we
Oh,
wanted
wow.
something that could happen, sooner than later. If we would have we would have still been shopping this around probably, and the album would have come out till next fall. and we'll already have another record ready to record by then, you know?
I don't think it matters. I think there's a certain level of UI. Like once you get to that level, if you have somebody in place that can get the media out,
Yeah.
that's really all you need at this point because everything you can kind of put out digitally. You can get somebody in there to get the albums and work that merchandise independently now. There's a better
Uh-huh.
profit margin. There's more control over your stuff.
Yes, there definitely is more of a
And there's a good grassroots movement. I mean, you have people
that's how I wanted to do it.
like me and other there's a billion podcasters that just want to promote, blogs and this and that. They just do it because they love it and
Yeah.
they want to support you guys.
Yeah. So with that said, the response has been really good, but the response has been less, if that makes any sense, because it's a smaller label. We have someone doing our press. We're paying somebody to do our press for us. Though, so there's not this giant nuclear blast machine that hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands of people are looking at.
Yeah. If your video goes on Nuclear Blast YouTube channel, a billion people are going to see it that first day.
So our video is
Uh,
going on our channel, and so
Right.
getting like a fraction of those views, which is I had an idea that's how it would happen because we don't have the subscribers that they do. So that's literally um the only avenue that's to me it has changed. And there's a
Mhm.
little less interviewing and there's a little less. I mean, I'm still doing, interviews and podcasts and stuff like that, but it's on a quieter level, which is fine because, to, we need time to like really roll out what we're doing,
Right.
do it right, and kind of keep track of how we're doing it. So it's like not taken out of our hands on some whole other level that we can't control. It's a little better. And we ended with Nuclear Blast really actually well. It was very good parting. They we asked them if we can step down, and they were like,
Yeah.
we hate to see you go, but yes.
Well,
You
it
know,
leaves the door open for the future if you want to. I mean,
yeah.
between albums, I mean, not that you would, but I'm saying it's nice to have, it's a small business. You don't want to upset people. People don't realize how small, how everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. It is a small world, but I want to say it's the best decision for to release music sooner,
I think so.
and we can play shows and sell our records, and we can take a grassroots level towards getting back as a band. Because it is me and Ace are original members, but everyone else is new again.
Hmm.
So it's
So the album's what, the 14th, you said? I think 14th, right?
14th, yeah.
So this will be out before then, whatever date this is released, people. That'd be February 14th. Now, are you planning like to keep doing the singles like waterfall style, like with a bunch of singles, keep working the album?
Yeah, yeah, we have an idea for another one too that we're gonna do, and then there'll probably be one after that. So, and we've never had four off of a record. They've always like really done maybe two nuclear blasted,
Oh,
but
you could
we're
do live out, but you could do live stuff now and lyric videos. I
yeah,
mean, that's how you keep your album alive. You can do a couple, you can do five or six. You can just if your album's out there and you're working it, why
uh,
not keep releasing singles? I mean, there's no rules against it. It's your own thing.
yeah,
What are you
I-
oversaturate the market? No. There's a billion songs out there a day, you know?
because there's a lot of people that won't hear the record in its entirety. So if they keep hearing singles, then they'll be
Yep.
like, might as well get the record.
Well, that's my point. I mean, to not stop at two or three. I think as I've been doing this for so long now, I've been seeing the model of artists like where you're at. It's
Mhm.
better for them to keep releasing stuff like every couple
Yeah,
months. Because if you do an album in two or three songs and you're still touring this summer, it's the album's not there. You know what I'm saying? You have no more support. It's just the
yeah, attention
album.
spans are at an all-time low with music, or people just listen to music different now.
Yeah.
Just the way that they, there's just so much available to us, which doesn't mean the artist isn't going to stop making the music. Like we need to make this music for
Right.
us. We need to get it out there. If there's two people or 27,000 people listening to it, it's still going to get made. Obviously we wouldn't have gotten back together if we did get back together for the money.
But when you hear, no one does music for the money, but obviously
It's
the
never
sound,
been.
when you listen to this album sounds special. I mean, really, people gotta listen to it. If they already heard the songs, it sounds, especially this type of music that, people are into. There's a magic there in this album. A little different.
Yeah, it was a magic. It was magic making it with these guys. It's hard to even like articulate that properly,
Well,
but
you seem differently in the album seems the energy feels different than the last one. And then when we last spoke, talked about the other album, the group, and where your head was at.
yeah,
It's like the energy and the band is like the right people in the right place now. The
yeah,
album's probably the best sound you wanted. I think it's the best you've done. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You're in control of your own stuff now. I mean,
yeah.
so everything's kind of lined up,
Yeah, because
you
there
know.
was it's always going to be, when you have a giant partner with you, it's always going to be a battle, like, well, we want to see more of this, and we
Right.
be able to sell this sound, so you need to do more like this, and that's we can do more of like what we want now, which is fine, which is good, like we've had that experience, and you know we know how to write all kinds of different songs, and we want to utilize those resources.
Now, are you going to do more once the album's out? Are you going to put more new songs in the set list too?
Yes, I think I want to do a tour where we just play the new album,
I think you should. That'd be awesome, actually.
where we just play it in its entirety. So it'd be like a 40-minute set of just what we have, so we
Yeah.
can present it right. If I had it my way, we would do albums where all the music videos, if I had a budget, would connect. So you would see one music video at a time,
Hmm.
and then you put it all together, and it's like a full length movie type.
Right.
You know, I've always wanted to do something like that, like where the puzzles fit when you have finally seen the last one. It's like an episode of like a kind of TV show with different episodes. That's what I've
Oh,
always wanted to do. Like, if I have a creative budget, if I have like, if we have time, and because I mean, this stuff's in my brain. It's just really hard to execute it with no
no budget.
resource. Yeah, no.
Well, because if you do it wrong, especially, it can look really cheesy. If you do it right with a low budget, it can be a lot of fun too. There's a fine line though of being fun and
It's true.
cheesy. You know what I
It,
mean?
you could be the song remains the same, or it could be, yeah.
I
It,
mean,
it,
because some of that old stuff is horrible, but it's fun. It's a fine line. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, the
yeah.
first key is don't take yourself too seriously. That
Uh,
usually
we
that'll sink yourself.
maybe when you're young, you take yourself more seriously, because you want to be heard. You're kicking and screaming to come out of the womb of life, and into to show your creative self. And now I guess as uh, we've matured as a band and as musicians, we can just take our time with things. And
Well, serious about the music, but not serious about yourself. Like, Frank Zappa was a perfect example. The quality and level of music of Zappa is through the roof. Never took himself seriously as, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as the image, it was, and that's kind
yeah,
of what allows, and then not, not to mimic him, I'm saying, but when an artist gets that level and they're that comfortable, it feels like it's a lot more natural. But whatever they do, they just do it,
yeah,
you
he
know,
definitely did whatever he wanted to do when he wanted to do it.
which also challenged him financially. You know,
He was an eccentric as far as a creative.
he was. Um, what are we looking at for tours? I know you said Europe. What are we looking for future plans, like US?
Yeah, they're working on something here in the U.S. Our U.S. agent, he's got a couple different things he's working on. Christmas kind of just put a kind of slowed down the process of me learning what it is that we're going to be doing. So we're going to catch up with him this week and see what we got going on in the U.S. And then our guy in Europe's working on stuff too. So I mean, we'll see, things will be popping up. Maybe some support runs.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because, like, now you said because you already did some stuff in Europe. You even have an album out. You guys haven't done a lot in a while, but
Mhm.
rock in Europe is a lot bigger generally, and a lot of
Yeah,
bands can keep touring over there. They're American bands that don't have to do anything over here. Do you guys
Yeah.
have like a good rep already over there that you just kind of keep working it?
Well, I'll put it this way, and I've always noticed this since the first time we went over there, and it's been countless times now, that if our band moved to Europe, we'd be active constantly,
Mhm.
and yeah, in the US, it's just not as like unless you're, country or
Yeah.
like pop or hip hop, you're not going to be on it, it's
Which
just
is funny because a lot of the rock bands in Europe want to come over to the US. It's hard and expensive for them, but there's
it's
not as many, you know what I'm saying? But there's not as much going
not
on, it feels like.
expensive for us.
No, I'm saying for them to come over here though.
Yeah, like we want to go over there, they want to go over. I mean, you want to go where you're not, where it's foreign to you. Like the US, I don't know, like because then that might be a part of it because it's so expensive for, I talked to a friend, she sings in a band in Italy, out of Italy, and they're talking about 2026 is the next time they'll be able to
Hmm.
come over.
Well, it's
That's
like 4 to 8 grand. It depends on their visas each. That's not including tour, and then there's taxes. They get taxed for the merch coming in. I think in tax at the sites, they get taxed a billion times over, like 3 or 4 times, and the visas.
sad. It's very sad. So they have to kind of do things. Sometimes these bands have to do things just a little bit hush hush. In order,
That and just to be in the red. So a lot of them just want to break even at this point. Just as they thank you to the fans, you know.
yeah, yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, I guess we are more fortunate that plane tickets is what we pay to go over there,
Yeah,
play music, and our visas are, don't cost 8 grand a piece. It's
which is great, which is crazy. And I think, and I'm always getting asked. So people are saying, "Hey, do you know anybody? You know, who need a bill? They're, looking for artists to tour with. Come over here. If they get a bill, they can break even and tour. You know what I mean?
I
But
mean, I wish they
individually,
would really loosen that up so we could have more. Because I mean, there'd be so many great bands that could come over here and we can play
yeah.
with. Because we have friends over there that play all the time, and I do think about that. And yeah, sure, Austin, we're lucky because yeah, you can play a show pretty much whenever you want. Um, I mean, I don't know if it would be the same if we lived in Omaha. I don't
No,
know. Maybe we'd be the big fish in the small pond there, somewhere like that. I don't know. But here, yeah, it's saturated. There's a scene. But if we don't play, you know, tw 2 or 3 times a month, there'll be a million other bands that are playing 2 to 3
yeah.
times a month.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, maybe like it's special for you to go over to Europe because you're an American band. Having
Yeah,
them come over, get like a mixed together tour.
I
So
know.
you at least go through the markets, you'll catch whoever you're not going to catch it with your band. The other band's going to catch it in the package. You know what I mean? And have all your friends go. Just kind of you can flip flop between US and Europe. You know?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do is flip flop between those two a lot. I mean, our bass player's in another band, and he's headed to Japan right now.
Oh wow.
His band and with that band, and it's just like wow. I would love to be able to get this band to go to Japan and then they're going to Singapore and Australia and Bangkok. And it's just like, oh,
I think you guys have the music for it. You just got to get out there,
yeah,
and
it's just,
get on the right bill, you know.
yeah, yeah. So it's just about, your team putting together stuff, activities, you
Now, will
know.
you do a small run though of like clubs, like say up the West Coast, East Coast, to the US?
Earlier in 2004, or I'm sorry, 2024, um, we did a West Coast run, which was a lot of fun. Um, it really showed us like how tight we can be as a band because
Hmm.
this lineup has not been on a we've done a couple like regional stuff in the time that we were writing the record, but that was a chance for us to be like, all right, you know, we've done the songs on the record, we can go play them and play some old stuff and see how people are responding to it. So that was really cool to be able to do that. And yeah, then fast forward to October doing the European run. And I mean, I would imagine once this record drops, it's just going to be more and more of that.
Now,
And
are you gonna be able to tour more because you're putting a bar? I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be able to make time for it for sure. Yeah. I mean, even if we're doing, because think about it, like I co-own this bar, so it's not like I'm the sole owner. I need to be
I mean,
there.
you could work from the road as long as someone's around to take a look in the, come on
Yeah,
site.
yeah. I mean, we'll have, key holder managers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's not something that's going to prevent me from doing it. I'm going to want for the next few months when we open to be free to
Yeah.
keep an eye on the bar. But like starting especially in the late spring and summer, yeah, we'll be able to do shows and
I think you guys should tour a lot with this. I mean,
I know. I
it's a good album, and it's like it's a kind of album that you could play in a club, in a bigger venue. I could see you fitting with a bunch of different bands because the sound, you're not a sound of one particular band. You could do a rock show, you could do a sludgier band. You know what I'm saying? You could fit on a couple different bills.
yeah. We've always been the kind of band that gets paired with a metal band or a stoner band or like
Right,
a
but you could open up for like a band like the Chameleons, Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know because I saw the Chameleons like this past year, and you were a little heavier than the opening act. So I can't remember what the band was, but
Yeah, I don't know if they would ask us to play a show. I mean, we still are harder than they are. We have
a little
L,
heavier. Yeah,
but there's definitely like if it was a Chameleons discharge tour,
yeah,
then we would be like the obvious middle band. So
right. That would be good. Um,
that
but
this stands out. Yeah.
I think the album's great. I want to encourage people. I'm gonna put the link for your YouTube
Okay.
and your socials underneath the show. People subscribe to their YouTube channel. Let's get the numbers up.
Yes, please.
Follow mine, Instagram and Facebook. It's also gonna be down there. Click on those because we're talking. There's gonna be some
Best
albums, right? Yeah.
links down here. Yeah.
Yep. The links will be down there. And then if you're not following me, subscribe to me. But the biggest thing is they want to subscribe to find out for tour information. And that's my whole point of this whole thing. And for like videos, like that's where it really comes down to. You have a fan. It's almost like I won't get into a good TV show
Mhm.
unless it has 3 or 4 seasons out at this point because I know like Netflix or somebody will cut it off right in the middle.
Yeah,
It's
for
hard to,
sure.
so nowadays you'd be like, yeah, this is a good band, but you really want, get invested in a band. To be like, yeah, they put one good album out. You really get into them for like a year, and else you give nothing. And it's like almost sad in a way. Like it's so if a band has stuff going on, you know, in an active feed, like you guys are gonna have this year of like tours and dates and shows and videos, you know what I mean? It's easier to be a fan
Yeah, I mean,
nowadays.
we're not gonna just put this out and not do anything. Yeah, we can't. We can't do.
Well, I know it seems like an obvious thing to say, but like I mean, maybe 20 years ago, that would have been a question
Uh,
or brought up. But I mean, but nowadays, I know a lot of people that do that.
you have to
So
do it.
I'm just telling you, there's some albums they get put out, and they go, well, if it does something, does something, just how to get it out. Everyone has a different perspective. No right or wrong. To me, I see an album go like this. You want to play,
Yeah. No, I
especially if the
mean,
songs are good.
yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely something that we need to take to the people. And
Which is why I'm pointing out to people, it's not like it's out there, a couple songs, it's gonna peter off. They're in it now. They're back. They're brand new, whatever you want to the joke is. They're just,
sometimes I think that no matter what, because it's been so long, no matter what we put out, people are still asking us, like, "Whoa, wait, you guys are back? You guys are to get? You guys are around? You exist?" It's like
well, I
where
think it's weird because you feel like you guys you look at your history and even going back and look at them like just you're together, then you're not together, but they're not like official breakups. They're just like drifts. You know, we were on a
yeah,
break type of deal,
I'm guilty of that for sure. Yeah, we've had children born. There's been, not me personally. There's been just a lot of things keeping us from.
But despite that, you guys do have a name that's really kind of crazy. I mean, despite the lack of like always being out in media,
Mhm.
you guys do have some kind of, like cult like status name, considering how little energy compared to like, media machines put out there. Not saying you didn't put the work into playing,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But the public version of the media machine, there really wasn't a lot out there for you. It's more of an underground, fan thing.
yeah. It has seemed to kind of be like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the greatest personal promotion machine like some people are. Like I admire those people that are like can get on, some YouTube podcast, or they can get on some, and they can just promote themselves. So, to no end. There's such.
I wouldn't beat yourself up. Let me tell you, I've talked to every type of person, and to me, it's more enjoyable this kind of conversation with you.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'll talk to some people, and they will have it, and they are pleasant, and they are pleasant, but they have it down. They know exactly what you're saying, and it's the same thing they're going to say in every other podcast, which makes you not want to listen to a fan. If I've heard on one of the podcasts, it's not going to want to hear it others. So, on some level, you're not even making it engaging content for yourself because
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that.
if you are yourself as a person, you're conversating, like I like to have, what are we talking about today? Or that stupid thing in American Idol, whatever is kind of a current thing, it's something special that it's in your mind now or a personal thing. And if they do that to each of your interviews, people are gonna be interested in hearing what else is about you
Mhm.
instead of that same bullet thing.
I do see a lot of bands that they're just such a well-oiled machine. Like they're constantly putting content out there and like
Hmm.
engaging with their fans, and they're, like I don't know, it's never been me to do that. Like it would be weird if I started being like every day talking about my mental health and, like
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
really
like when you do an
connecting
interview
with.
like this is you being you. This isn't you saying I played guitar when I was 12. I first got the in every interview. You know, just
Oh
just
yeah,
being you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to overdo it. Just there's a balance because if you try doing media all the time, you'll burn out.
true.
I get burnt out in the show. I mean, you're an artist. You don't want to kill your creativity, get burned out on the other end of it. So it's
Yeah,
kind of you want to keep like a leg on each side of the fence. You know what I mean?
you see a full spectrum of different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could be, there's things I could be better at, but it just would like it needs to be natural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the whole thing. I don't think there's a wrong way. I just think if you are just you here, and when you do a podcast or interviews, just be
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? And I'll have
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 questions. I'll talk with the album and stuff because I like it. I'm excited. Like even my numbers now as big as they are. I don't get paid. I'm not. I don't do it. I'm not set up with YouTube because I'm not going to play with the games that with their rules. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this whole thing's like a labor of love. So if I'm going to have you on, it's because I would dig your music. You know what I mean? And at that point, it's a conversation as I'm a fan to like of you as a person and like what the core of you is. You know what I mean? That's you. You guys, the album. You guys are doing this. You're doing the bar. You're like these are all real things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very real. And it's interesting because I do feel a pressure, of course, with the bar to really promote it well and be behind it. Like,
Yeah.
hey, that I should be behind the band and I should be behind the promotion of the band. But I guess I'm too close to the band. Like the bar is different because it's a business that needs to generate sales, that needs to generate money, and the band is the same way. But I mean, I'm going to kind of cross pollinate some of those,
Well, I don't
t-
think, and I think it's a hard thing to feel like you're creative. Like I'm not the worst, and I always was the worst at creating promoting this thing. Despite itself, it's gotten bigger.
yeah.
But the thing is, it feels weird for me to say da 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 da. You know what I mean? I'm the least promote
Yay.
myself. It feels weird. But
Yay. Yeah.
but if you heard me saying it, you'd be like, yeah, you should promote it because on the outside it sounds fine. But when you're saying it yourself, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to see it, it's fine.
No, I mean it's yeah, I def look, I mean this is definitely an album, if any album, that was 100% us. So I have more pride as far as what's behind it. So I know what I have to do if I want people to really get as excited as I am about it. I'm not saying the prior albums that I wasn't proud of them. But like going back to what we said, I feel like there was other people involved in.
It feels like a pair of well-worn jeans that gets broken in a little bit more than the other two. Like it feels more comfortable. Like it just feels
Yeah.
more relaxed in a way.
It's interesting because when something is as it is natural, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can feel it.
It feels real.
If
It didn't
some
the others didn't feel bad before, but they felt more stiff compared to this one. If I didn't hear this one, it wouldn't have been the same. I would have had that thought in my mind. But hearing those and knowing those two albums, and then hearing this one,
Yeah, so
It
what do you
feels
think it
different.
would be like if the band had never put anything out prior and then you hear this? How would that change your
It
perspective?
wouldn't. I mean, I feel this is who you are, but I also look at music way differently. But to me, this is who your band is right now. I mean, and you didn't change your sound like 100% either. So it's not that. It's just it feels like not like more relaxed. You're more in the pocket. You're more in your space. Like you're right on, you're right in the groove
Yeah,
a
you
little bit
never know
more.
what's going to happen when you take so much time in between. But a lot of these songs were written like 3, 4 years ago at this point.
And I think the songs are stronger. And I think they all stand on their own.
Yeah, yeah, the songwriting is, yeah, we're as songwriters, we work really well together right now. Not that we didn't in the past. It was just a different format. And I think this format is very organic. It's very natural because it's also, me and one of the other guys we started this band together. The
Yeah.
guy, the last two albums were with guys that I didn't start the band with. You know what
Well,
I'm
yeah, and that will
The
change the
albums
dynamic.
no aren't actually it's me is the original guy, but the other guys, you know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
actually me and the guy that we started playing acoustic guitar at coffee shops together, like
It's more of the original vision, but the other ones are good. They're good rock albums, and they
yeah, yeah.
and
I
it followed you. You're still writing and being a creative source,
yeah.
but it feels like you're back to where you wanted to be, which I think shows a little differently because
Mm.
when you write with somebody, there's certain people you write with, it's just more of a connection and it feels differently. And that's when you get the Jaggers, Richards, you get the bigger, you know what I mean? The Lennon McCartney, when you find your partner, that thing. That's why some bands that fight, they still write songs together because it's so good, that magic, you know what I mean? And
I think we need to fight more. That's
no,
what
no, no. The Gallagher brothers got that all taken in. I just think you guys have got the
yeah, I'm one of the guys that loves Oasis. I'm
yeah.
not one of these haters. I'm not like, oh,
It doesn't matter. They still battle all the time. It wasn't the Black Crows. I read the Gorman's book. It
yeah,
was like they were surprised. Oasis was surprised. I think that the Black Crows were fighting so much. You're like, man, you guys fight a lot. Like the Brothers tour, Brother Love tour or something.
really? Did they tour together?
Yeah, it's called the
Remember
Brotherly Love tour. It was Black Crows and Oasis a while
yeah,
back.
back in the 90s?
Yeah, and they're
Wow,
both.
I
Yeah,
never knew that happened.
I mean, think about it as a marketer. The two brothers, figured guitars in each band, both big bands.
Robinson brothers and the Gallagher brothers. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
and then they were like, yeah. So that was pretty crazy. I
The
still respect all
Gallagher
those guys,
brothers
but
are funnier.
I'm saying they do all the fighting. You don't need to be fighting. Just do the creativity.
So funny. Wow. I
Yeah.
never knew that happened. I'm gonna have to look into that for sure.
Yep. I was here. I think it was a tour of brotherly love. I think is what it was.
It makes sense. Yeah.
That was totally great title. I would always say just yeah, keep it out there at this point. For somebody who's talked to hundreds of bands, releasing albums nowadays, it's just throw stuff out there once in a while, whether it be a lyric video or just live footage is even better on YouTube. You know,
Yeah.
here's a live show, a live song from you know what I mean?
Also, we have our live at Rock Palast coming out in like maybe the 24th or 5th of February, just after our release. Our Rock Palast show, which was awesome. That
Yeah.
was recorded live in Germany, is going to air. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. As long as there's more stuff out there, you want to keep people coming back to your channel. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. If you just put one thing out there, you like die, it goes down. People will
Yeah.
vanish.
See, that's where I'm just so spread thin with the
That's
bar.
where I'm being. That's what I'm saying right now. That's what I'm not lecturing by any means. I'm being your cheerleader.
Oh
What I'm
no, you're
saying.
good. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
you're definitely right about that. I mean,
but
I'm
there's
like,
a balance too. I also don't want you people to feel like they have to do it all the time. I think you can pull back a little bit. I'm just saying if you can put out something once a month, whether it be just have somebody shooting live footage or something
mhm.
besides you,
that
just to
that's kind of
keep it
that's
out there so it's not beating you up. But at least people, if they're not subscribed to your channel, if they're not getting any footage, if they've already seen your videos, you know what I mean? Why subscribe? It's
yeah. But I need to be like, hey, subscribe to our channel. Like, how hard is
right.
that? But it's hard for me, I guess. I
You
don't
just said it. We were
know.
just talking about it. This is
Yeah,
the first one, right? The first step's the hardest,
like
you know?
shameless self-promotion has never been my
If you,
strong.
it's not even shameless to say if you dig the music, we're gonna be putting some stuff up. We're gonna try doing do a live song every month or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah,
dig us, you'll see you need to dig that. We'll be putting some stuff up. Hopefully you can follow along and support us and be part of the machine, and keep the
yeah,
music going. That's sincere.
No, it is because a lot of these, especially the bigger bands, they have teams of people doing that. When we were Nuclear Blast, we had a modest team. I mean, not like, the Deftones probably have a crazy team, amount of people on their
There's a
payroll.
time where that gets deafening to people. They don't hear it anymore because it becomes like, I say Walmart, but it becomes like so much at a point, you're not going to see it anymore. If it's plastered everywhere, don't you just zone out after a while?
Yeah, but then you can focus on being, making the music and
No, I'm
letting.
saying like I think a band of like a level of a nuclear blast stuff for rock bands and around those types where you're
Yeah.
not over promoted. There's a certain point where I think people just don't listen anymore unless you're just a pop band, you know?
Yeah, unless we're played on at Hot Topic
Right.
and Alta and
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. You get a shirt or two in Hot Topic.
and
Get some cash,
support.
man. Then
I'm
you don't
gonna
have to
be
worry
playing
about it.
for I'm gonna be played in Coles and Dillard.
Abercrombie and Finch.
Abercrombie. Yeah, see, now we're talking.
That's hilarious.
And there's
Man,
certain time periods in time where yeah, some of these songs might have been played in those big
totally.
nuclear.
But and that is the industry. And I do want to say, as we get towards the end of this, you don't want to take all your time, but I think like you, a band like you would do great with like on a soundtrack, on an action film. You know
Hey,
what I
you
mean?
don't have
You
to
got some
tell.
songs out there. I'm putting the energy out there right now as part of the discussion because a lot of different people watch my show. You'd be surprised. And that's the whole thing. Is like some of those songs are just so jamming, they would be good in an action film, whether it be a
Hey,
car movie or a action thing. Put it out there.
you're
Fight
putting
scenes.
action film. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe
Yeah.
to his channel. Get in contact with us. Let's do this, guys.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it would be good. I mean, come on. Be the Snake would be a great opening music coming in.
Like
The
Mad
credits
Max
of yeah, it'd be wholly awesome.
or even Dune.
Yeah, anything. But I'm saying it would be a good, powerful song coming in to a lot of movies.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it's just a
I mean, I
matter
don't
of
hear you guys doing many Adam Sandler movies with your music.
we used,
Although,
we used to have a licensing company too. I need to get back on that too. So now that we have management, I can maybe kind of stir that.
I do say seriously, half seriously thrown to. I mean, I do think of an opportunity for a band of your stature and power for the songwriting has an opportunity to get in front of somebody or say, hey, check this out, or have somebody to do it, or anybody come see you. It's the best opportunity, you
No,
know.
it's true. I
That's
mean,
there's a
you're not
That's where
wrong.
the money is.
Yeah, you're
But
definitely not wrong. All these ideas are great and I should be doing them. It's just I am worn thin with the bar and the band and just
you're a
there's
man. Do what you need to do. I'm just sharing some of the
no,
success I've seen from other
it's
people.
real. It's real talk. It's a good idea. I need someone to kind of on live on the air shake me up a little bit.
But that's the whole point. This show's pretty real. Like people are listening, like it's not easy, and that's what I'm gonna say. The boring I say that to everybody. These guys come to town, or any band comes to town. You need to see them. Tuesday night, you still need to see them
Mhm.
because it's not gonna happen all the time. It's expensive. The vans are hard to get. I think bands are having a hard time getting regular size vans now, like for a medium sized tour, because all the vans are rented out for like Amazon to be delivering packages. There's such a run on van rentals at this
Oh,
point.
really? See, I didn't even know that. We usually just like borrow a friend's van. We've never in so 18 years this band's been around, we've never owned our own van. It's the first band I've ever been in ever
Yeah,
that did that. Every other band has we went out and we bought a van and we
yeah.
DIY, book your own fucking life type shit. We go on tour constantly in our own van, and other bands would be trying to rent our van. But Scorpion Child has never had. We had a guy once that was in the band that had a van that we
Yeah.
used on a tour or two, but we've never been like, all right, we started, because usually when you start a band, you get your gear or you already have your,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, we got to get a van so you can go
Yeah.
out. But this
First,
band,
we need to gut it. We need to get some plywood. We need to like make some storage in here and
yeah,
pack it in and
we would
yeah.
just borrow. We used to rent, like we used to borrow the Black Angels van back in the day. We've rented vans, bandwagons, band to go type situations, but never have we had our own.
I'm just saying nowadays it may have loosened up, but originally when COVID first ended, it
Yeah.
was tight for bands. And then I've noticed that I see people, and this is my just thought, is I've noticed people like delivering in cars now because they were doing, Amazon ran out of trucks, so contractors were doing the rental vans. You see like those rental things that you do for moving, we're starting to deliver things. Maybe more because of the holidays. But if that's happening for that, then that means there's nothing for other people. And now
Yeah.
I've seen people in
I didn't
cars delivering
realize.
stuff. So I'm thinking, oh, it makes it that much harder for people, you know?
I mean, look, if we were a trio, we would tour in a car for sure. Yeah, we would just go get into an Outback and do a national tour. But there's five of us.
Outback.
It's typically
You guys could
all,
be a jazz trio. You could be a jazz trio too,
yeah,
and,
because when
and
we
play at the Outback.
go on a tour, we got five people and typically like a driver, a tour manager with us. So there's no shortage of personalities when we go out on the road. Like it's a force of personalities. That's great.
Uh,
It's
I think it's
incredible.
good.
If
I
we were
want
a
people.
quiet duo or a trio,
Yeah,
couple type situation, it would just be in a car. It'd be a lot easier probably on
yeah. It'd be boring though. You'd be playing bowling alleys. People,
yeah,
it's not out there as much because you can listen to that.
like
You
a
know.
circus going on the road.
Well,
Like a
that's what people want. They want a performance now. They're gonna
it's
leave that
like
house. They want something.
blanket of black.
I want people to check you out. I want people to support you. Go to your page. And the album comes out on the 14th. Get
Mhm.
it. I didn't even look. You have a Bandcamp page, don't you? Too.
Yeah,
What's the best
we're
way to buy it for people? I mean, I
band
know streaming helps. Streaming helps for
selling
you
it on our
for the
band.
promotion of it, but to make the money, buying it on Bandcamp is probably the best.
Yeah, that's where our label guys using Bandcamp to for all the pre-sales. And I mean, some pre-sales are going good. So
All right. And merch and
they're
stuff. I didn't even
blast
look.
good. I don't know,
The
but
what?
they're going good independently good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say nuclear blast. I mean, I'll put it this way, when the vinyl and the CDs and the t-shirts are all ready simultaneously, ready to there's going to be a lot of packages being sent. So that's
Right.
good. It's good to, you know, hopefully Damon will take pictures of the first round of packages in his living
Yeah.
room so we can post that, because
But
we're
but
proud that we're doing it ourselves and we can actually get a handle on our product.
there's more money in it for you though. The profit margins. Every band has told me they've gone from a major, not slagging like a nuclear blast or anything, but
And all of a sudden they have money, but they're selling way less.
they've actually said they've gone from well, they may have not made a platinum album, and they may have sold 100,000 or 50,000 albums. They've made actually more money this year on tour, whatever year it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
we're not
constantly hear that.
1,000 albums. Yeah.
I'm just saying because they have more control and there's more of a profit coming in and
Yeah.
less going out. They're making
So,
more money just doing to the legions of loyal fans.
so if there were 50,000 albums, well, say there was 20,000 albums, right?
All right.
20,000 albums, that would be $600,000 gross if we
Mhm.
did that. That'd be impressive.
It would be.
Because I
Well,
mean,
if you're moving
one of the
digital and
band
you price
members and
it,
the label
yeah.
guy could put a down payment on a house with that kind of money.
And the bigger money is that's just on the albums. I mean, or CDs or whatever you're selling. I mean, the money is in merch. The
So
profit in merch. Did you ever read the book? You ever read Sammy Hagar's book?
no
Listen, no, I mean, he talks. He's a merchandise guy. He creates all kinds of stuff. But he came in and he had a plan for
tequila,
the merchandise for the merchandise of the Van Halen shirts.
right? Of
They made a
course,
killing by coming in and taking over and cleaning it up. But I'm saying that's where all the money is, profit. If you can do it right. If you can do it right.
I know. Yeah, if you could be Van Halen.
No, 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 no. I'm saying that's the point is that they were losing money they could have
Right.
made. A lot of bands are losing money. That's just a big example, easy because everyone knows Van Halen. Point is, they were doing it like everybody else, but they weren't like tightening it in and focusing on you know what I mean? But if you do that,
Yeah, well, a band like Van Halen, if they really take the time, you know, even post that peak that they were in when they probably were worried about, whiskey and cocaine, but when they really become mindful of where their money how their money is being allocated and spent and who's profiting where. And when they really like hone in on that, they can be like, wow, we can make this such a tighter ship,
Yeah.
money make.
Granted, I mean, they are bigger, but I'm saying I think everybody can learn from the idea of you're not too big, you're not too whatever, to take a minute and get
Yeah,
too much into the rock and roll and take a business corner, take a
yeah,
couple days and say, a shirt costs X amount of money. We print it with white on it. You put two colors in it, the price goes up for us. You know, we gotta go on the road. We're pulling this trailer behind us. We gotta do different sizes. No, never have the right size. You always want to have extra large and large. Those are gonna be your best sizes. How many female shirts are you gonna sell? Like, and those are all numbers you have to put out first.
at all these bands now that are coming out in the press saying it's just too expensive to tour now, and you're like, what? Because the bigger you get, the more of a crew you have to pay, the less money there is for the band, like the more
But
of.
that is a fine point because you get to one where your people are helping do setup if you have one or two people, and then once you're set up, if they can do the merch table, you're taking two jobs in. You know what I mean? When you can start distributing, when a band can help set up their own stuff, that's when you can kind of tighten in.
Yeah, yeah, so there's different ways to look at it for sure from that perspective.
You
Wow.
know, just for you to tour
And if you're a duo that doesn't require a giant,
anything.
huge, but maybe just a backdrop at each show and some good light,
Mhm.
and all you do is have a lighting guy and a sound guy and a merch guy or girl or whatever you know combination it is. You could technically tour and play massive arenas as a successful duo, and there's only five people to pay.
More or less, yeah. And your manager keeping everything
Incredible.
docked
You
down.
don't need you don't need six semis like Slipknot full of props I mean that's got to be an expensive show to put
I'm
on.
sure, but the fans like it.
Yeah, but
I
if
brought
you're
my
the,
daughter. I brought my daughter to Slipknot show because it's not my band by any
yeah,
means. I'm not slagging them because I'm like, all right, I'll go see them.
yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
do. They do put on a show, especially for a younger person. I just want to see the music at this point. The whole show.
I've never seen Slipknot.
It was like a Slipknot fest or something. I don't know. I took her to.
Not Fest or
I don't
whatever.
know something. It was a while back. It was years ago. But
They-
I said I'll go. I'll take her. Um, you know,
Craziest thing that we've ever been a tour we've ever been on was the Mayhem Festival where Rob Zombie played every night, and we watched his show, and it was just like, wow, how much does that cost? Yeah, I just remember thinking because we'd play this like tent,
yeah.
it's just like we're in a van with no air condition through the summer touring on this festival.
But are you known for that though?
Yeah,
I think about Rob Zombie is known for that. Put it on a show.
he's known for that show. I mean, he built that show from White Zombie on up
Right,
to.
but he's always had that, so he's known for that. So if you didn't see it, if you did a zombie stripped down tour from, you know what I mean, the first time might be special, but if you kept doing it, they're like, yeah, I'll just listen to the album. It's not the same.
I don't even know how to like. I have these visions in my head, but it's like you have to have some startup capital
Yeah.
get to that point where you're putting on a show like every night like that. You got to have some investors being like, all right, we're gonna
Well,
do.
that's when you have a real album label. You go like three albums on making money. Dio was not making money to make that 20-foot dragon or something he had. And I mean, for the first couple albums, that was the debate with Vivian and all those guys were getting paid. He says by the third album, it'd be more. A lot of money was going back. I think the first couple Ozzy albums, when he went solo, Sharon was funneling the money back into the show. Everybody's just skin of their teeth. That's how the first couple albums go, how it used to go. And I think that idea of tightening down no matter who, I mean, because it was Ozzy, is
uh,
still, you got to tighten down. I think that idea needs to get carried over how to tighten down nowadays to the market.
yeah, there's really not a 101 class and where they teach musicians how to do that.
Mm-mm.
You got to kind of get lucky in some respects, and then just kind of figure out how to put those pieces together from there.
You got to be good and smart. And then when you get lucky, you got to be ready. If you're not ready, if you're not talented, it's not going to last.
I mean,
Now, I hear a lot in this show from a lot of artists, you know what I mean? So I
good
hear it
amount of
all.
a good amount of them were probably in that time period where you can just have a song. and that song breaks and
Yep.
you money off the song, and it's not about the touring, it's about record sales, about the single, it's
Some
about
people do that, but then they do it. They can do a cruise and be like, I come out, I talk to like an easy gig is like the guy from Musical Youth. You remember
Mhm.
Passaducci,
Okay.
whatever. He still tours and he still goes out. He'll get paid nice, go out and play a cruise, do that one song or one or two songs. These great
Yeah,
weekend gigs, and he can have a regular job or not. A lot of people can just fly out weekends off of the basis of a couple hit songs
we
from
did
that
one of
time.
those metal cruises out to the Bahamas once. It was a lot of fun.
I think you guys would be good. I think if you guys could get on that, I think you'd win fans over because I think you do have a lot of built-in fans in the metal crowd.
Yeah, when we first got signed to Nuclear Blast, there was a lot of stuff like that that just happened right away. And then those opportunities never came back again. Mayhem cruises
Yep.
like that. It was all like so fast, and then it was over. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like so much stimulation. Like you're thinking, here we go. Wild roller coaster ride, and then you're like, it's pretty wild. It's pretty insane.
It
To
it's
be
changed so much though. I mean, these past 12 years of music, the industry had a certain way it used to go. There was rules, you work the first album, you get signed, that's what you want to do. They rip you off. Like once the 90s came, everything kind of went the window. And then 2000s came in the late, I don't know, 90s and into the 2000s up until COVID. I mean, there was no set model anymore. Big shows came in and they went out and Fest went in and out. Mayhem went in and out and then up and down. And there's a new one each year and there's punk rock bowling and there's this and that. And
punk rock bowling in
you know what I'm
Vegas.
saying? It keeps changing and and everybody wants to support themselves, but nothing's locked in the long term like it used to. Um, and that's where it just comes to kind of like hustling a little bit now, self-promotion, keeping the money tight, keeping the crew small. If you can do double things on yourself, do it.
That's what it feels like now. It feels like it's the year of or it's the time to just kind of do it yourself by your own terms and
And
hustle your
I will say this though,
for
a
me.
label no, but a label will come in once you have it all locked down. A label will come in and want to pick you up if you have what they call it, a turnkey cottage industry type of thing, where all
Mhm.
they need to do is turn the key to come in, and you have the
Yeah, well,
distribution,
yeah, obviously,
and
if
you're
we
like, it's not worth it then, right?
do all the work, then
But
and
that's when labels want you nowadays,
they're
mostly.
reaping the benefits. They're gonna be like, where's let's get a hand.
But that's what I'm telling you. A lot of the bigger labels, that's what they're doing now. That's what they really want.
Like with opening a bar, it's like dealing with the city and dealing with all the code and inspection. Everybody wants a handout. Everybody
Hmm.
wants to put their hand in. Oh, wait, you guys are doing this. Hang on, we're gonna need. It's gonna be $500 to get this guy to come out and do that. Everybody, it's nuts. You see the way the world works. It's so corrupt.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it
In
is.
order to get all these signatures on a piece of paper, you have so many people just want to get so many mouths need to get fed by even the low guy, the mom and pop, like me and my business partner, just
Yep.
like they treat
It,
us like they would treat a multinational corporation. Oh, well, you got to do that. They got to do that. You got to do that too. And eventually, like you can run the risk of running out of money because you just can't keep up with the.
and you're the last ones to get the money, so that's why most businesses don't make it within 2 or 3 years because the profit. I literally drive by businesses all the time and go, even like it's a dollar store or any restaurant, I'm like, how many egg sandwiches are they selling to pay for that place? Because you know how it breaks down. At your bar, you're like drinks per square foot, part of this for profit per square foot you need to make to pay for your rent, pay for your help, pay for your insurance, da, 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 you know what I'm saying? It breaks down to a certain amount of value of financial what you sell.
Liquor and beer sells,
Yeah. But I'm saying there's a breakdown of a certain amount of profit you need to make.
but just getting open, so many people need to get paid. And I mean, I guess it's the same in the recording industry. Like if they're going to see, especially now, they're scrounging to try to find ways to make money off of bands in a
Yeah.
360 fashion that's been going on for 20 years now. There's no record sales making the money anymore. They want to make it off the band's touring, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. That's already an old conversation. But wow, to see, that we would have any success doing it ourselves on our own level, paying for our own press, paying for our own,
Let me tell you this.
all that stuff. Boom. They see
Two
that.
album
we want to try to entice you guys to so we can make money off you now. It's like, well, no, we just built this empire. We're gonna stick with it.
But you can do it though. There's success. I saw like Buck Cherry came out a couple of albums ago, and they did 2 albums ago, and I had them on, and they turned away all radio. They
Who is it?
just did podcasts. Buck Cherry, 2 albums ago. They did best. Once again, though, they've had up and down careers, like for whatever. Same thing. Then
Got
they came in and said, we're just going to do, podcasts and stuff like that. It was like it was huge for albums for nowadays. It was a big album. They're still touring more albums. I mean, it started them off on a thing now, so it's like now they've got more attention again. They really helped build a foundation of fan base. It's possible to build
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they do radio now, but I'm saying at first they were really kind of building up. I mean, their manager is Larry Mazier, Kiss. So he had a
Right.
plan. So they were messing around.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is a lot to be said about building up a grassroots, fan base through like websites and podcasts and this and that.
Mhm.
You know,
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything out of that band in decades. Yeah, interesting.
I hear a lot of everything of a lot of music, a lot of groups. That's what I have to do. It's like,
No, no, no. That's cool. It's cool to see it from your
but it's
perspective.
relatable. Everything's transferable because everybody loves their music and loves their band. They want to make money and they have to support their family and themselves and you know what I'm saying? And go to the recording. It's all the same. It's just a different sound. I mean, and most people in every band is just real guys that just want to do their music and they're really good people. So it doesn't
I think
matter.
that's the main reason for leaving Nuclear Blast. The Nuclear Blast changed so much. They got bought out by the company got bought out, and most of the employees that worked on our records moved on to this other label called Atomic Fire, which is now called something different. Um, so I remember people were just like, "Hey, can you take us off your Instagrams,
Mhm.
Facebooks, and stuff as editors and stuff because we're all moving to a different label." So it was almost like Nuclear Blast was a completely different thing.
Yeah.
We were still signed. So in order to get money, they had less money to give us. They were a bigger company, but they had less money to give us, and it was going to be harder to get that money to go make a record. So we're just like, well, why don't we just get dropped, get a drop letter, and take a different avenue, because we don't even understand this format now. It's not the same format. We're just going to get lost in the ocean now.
But there is, I wouldn't say, like I said, take everything I say and everything everybody says with a grain of salt, but there is potential. I've seen it. I've seen success, you know. But I do see this the key of it is just finding a balance between not burying yourself in content, being who you are, some content, but not a lot.
We definitely don't
And
bury ourselves in content.
no, 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 but you want to put out something once a month at least. You don't need to take a picture of your coffee cup every day. A lot of people like me don't care and actually find it annoying. I will unfollow a band if it's stupid stuff like that. I just
Mhm.
want to get a post of a new video coming out. Oh, but 3, 4 months have gone by, nothing. All right, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But if you're touring an album, that's just my thought. Is like throw out some live clips or something. Throw out something,
Yeah.
but not beat everybody up because not everybody cares. I mean, that's your loyal fan base, and that's
So when we're on tour, I am really good about posting stuff.
right. And it's okay. You can have lulls. I know a lot of artists will take a year off and they're just dead silence. They go quiet. You
Yeah,
know,
it's interesting. That's kind of that's kind of what we do.
right?
Because
But
I do our social media. If I had somebody else doing our social media, it might be a bit more contrived, but it'll
mine's horrible. I have all the
be a
people that
lot
come on
more
my show.
content.
I have nobody follow. I mean, like I have people following me. I'm saying, but it's not what it should be. Neither is my Facebook. I am the worst at promoting it. 'Cause I'm tired after doing the show.
Yeah,
I
true.
edit it. I get the guests. I do all the interviewing. I do all the editing. I do all the promotion. Like it's all me. There's no one else.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
why some people are just like naturally born well-oiled promotion machines.
I can't do it. It crushes my soul.
Yeah.
My hope is that people just like the honesty of the show and the interviews get picked up and they have, and it finally it has. So that's been my saving grace.
I mean, you've had some quality. I mean, I looked through your page and I was like, all right, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
you've been able
I'm
to do
happy.
that. That's fortunate, Like I feel fortunate that, I've been able to do what I've done, and you only have so much bandwidth, obviously,
But people listen. I can say when I first started, someone's like, "Oh, you talk to." I wanted to interview somebody. They go, this person can't do it right now, but hey, and this is like a PR person said, but hey, I saw your Jeff Tall interview. I saw
Mhm.
the way you handled him because he's whatever, and they enjoyed it. People watch these shows. I know CEOs of Disney and promoters and everything. They might not be subscribers, but if they see something catches their eyes, they'll jump on for a couple minutes on a podcast or something. They will. There are people watching these things that are bigger than just, somebody, a fan, on their phone
Yeah,
going to work.
you never
So,
know who's watching, you know?
by being sincere for me, it's finally started to pay off a little more because I'm not going to BS you and I'm going to talk about something real. And it's not clickbait. I want people to follow you. I'd love to if you come up in New England at some point, check you out live. But
It would be
the
great.
14th is the day of the album. Buy it. If you can't buy it, stream it, get merch from them, support them, and click on the links and subscribe to them.
Click that link.
All right, man. I want to thank you for being on the show. It's been awesome. But we'll have
Thank
you
you for
again later in the year. I'll be back again. We'll keep
Yeah.
supporting you.
Sure.